All right, welcome back to D3 Glory Days on the podcast feed and on YouTube. Now joined by three-time 400-meter champion Eric Gregory. Eric, welcome to D3 Glory Days.
How you doing? How you doing?
It's great to have you here on the podcast. It's been a long time coming. You've had such a historic career in Division Three. You just won your third straight 400-meter championship. How's it feel to be a three-time national champion?
It feels great, honestly. That's what I wanted. That's what I've been turning. That's what I've been focused on. So that's them what I've been setting goal for.
Let's talk about the decision to do the triple at this year's meet. We talked to your coach separately before you joined us, and he said it was your idea, and he told you we can do it, but it's going to hurt. Talk about why you wanted to take on the triple.
My whole life, I grew up running 100 and 200. So I wasn't good and never really liked running 400. I never tried running 400 until I was out of college. So when I tried 400 for the first time, I realized I could do it. When my first time winning championship, we all seen that I failed at the finish line. The second time I won the championship, I failed again. But I watched the 100-meter final 15 minutes after I ran my second race, which means I knew if I was covering a short amount of time, I was able to do it. I told Coach I'm gonna try it next year. And he was like, you're gonna have to go through a lot of pain and sacrifice. I said, I know that when I really take the risk, like that's something I love to do. I love to compete, I love to race. It's not about trying to win it all, it's about what you're capable of do in a short amount of time. The coach was like, all right, this off season, we're gonna have to try to, do different events, do a different way. I said, okay, I tried 800 for a reason. I ran the 800, I ran the 100, I ran it for about one. So I ran like, what, 3 meets straight? I was never running the 800, but I realized I was capable to do it. So I said, okay, go. I think I'm ready. He said, all right, you got to run a good time until you get to the final. If you can make it. And I was like, oh, you realize. I said, okay, I'm going to get the high level of competition. So it's not an easy way. I said, all right, we're going to try it. Been training for it, and it worked. So, and I feel like now, ever since I see how I can really do it, I can feel like I could do it better. Now I got to keep training with it.
You mentioned you've fallen or went to the ground after a lot of your races. And I think we've seen that plenty of times. It looks like you give an all out effort every race, especially the national meet. Where do you find that extra gear? Because it looks like you are just spent after your race.
Uh, Once I recover, I find my gear. So it's like training at practice. If you can run 4 or 5 times and then what, 5 to 10 minutes apart, why you can't run 4 or 5 times at the well weight naturally? So it make no difference to me compared to actually training. If you gotta train the way you train, if you really love racing. So if you don't train the way you want to train, how you expect the race gonna come out? So that's something I want to do.
I think fans of Division III track and field have really been treated to just an amazing sprint field over the last few years. And you've certainly been a part of that. And I'm curious if you can talk to us what it's like to be a part of that really elite group of sprinters in Division III. Obviously, Sam Blaskowski now, but even looking back at previous years, we had JP, Sheck. So talk about what it's like to not only compete with those guys, but kind of what your guys' relationship or lack of relationship is like off the track.
I'm gonna start off with JP first. It was 2021. My teacher was canceled twice, but that second season, he had won 100 and 200, which I was excited because it had not, had somebody running that great since my freshman year. So I was like, oh, So I went ahead and checked him and told him, I'm gonna see you next year. And he didn't recognize who I was. And I was like, I'm gonna see you next year. He like, all right, back. So the year came through. I didn't know Sam yet until National. I didn't know Chet yet until National. I only knew JP. So when I first ran Chet and get to 400, he something else. So I beat him in my first time in the prelim in the 400, and then I beat him again in the final in the 400. And I didn't expect I was gonna beat him, but it just came out the way I've been training with. And I was like, okay, I got ready to got everybody to 200. Same with Kelsey, he have a great, I can't really explain it, but a great competitor. Like he loved to wait. He loved to bring energy into the race. It's not the like he never really tried to make it seem like everything toward it. It made it seem like he want everybody to get their fun out of it. All right, you know. So when I first raced him, he was had him guy. When I first raced Chet, he was had him guy out. Like, really gonna make these guys out. Like, really gonna race it one more time. So year after, I didn't make a change in racing 200 in the final, but didn't do great in the prelim, which it was okay. But I got to change the race to my previous and the indoor. But they are competitive. Like they just amazing, honestly.
Yeah, that final, I think Noah and I were just hyping up the 200 meter because earlier that year, that season in 2022, you came out of nowhere and broke the national record. I think it was like a random meet. You break the record, and we just talked to JP not too long ago. And once he saw that you broke it, he was like, all right, I got to go get this back. Did, from our standpoint, you kind of came out of nowhere since you mentioned 2021 was canceled. But was that performance in that record breaking race, was that out of nowhere for you?
Uh, that kind of tough because that was one of the weirdest days I ever ran. I told coach I wasn't gonna win series. That was safe that. And he was like, why? I said, I don't know, it's cold, it's not, no competition, it's not, nothing for me. Excited. Coach like, all right, you should make sure you do it correctly. I said, okay. When I got in the block, I don't know what happened. All I knew, when the gun had popped, I came out and I just ran it away. When I hit the time, I walked back to our coach. Coach was like, you broke the national record. I said, man, coach, stop playing, stop lying. He was like, no, you actually broke the record. When I look at the time, I was like, whoa. That's when I realized, I was like, now I gotta really take myself serious, like really go ahead at it. I said, okay, from now on, no more playing. I said, okay.
Coach, what do you remember from that day?
I told him, okay, you don't want to take it serious because it's cold. I understand you don't want to injure yourself. Just do what you need to do to win the heat, the meet. He just went out and showed off. I was like, okay, well, broke national record just on a normal meet day. Fine, except.
Coach, when you have an athlete break a national record like that, how does the conversation shift then to let's get to the national meet to let's win a national title?
Oh, I mean, really, it's mostly just about doing your best at all times. That's really what I want to see out of all my athletes, not only Eric. I know that through the training, I believe in what we're doing here, and that at any given moment, we have the opportunity to show up and win. We're not just showing up to compete, but yeah, like the goal is always to show up, do your best, and win.
Well, speaking of showing up and winning, let's focus in a little bit on what happened last weekend, 2 weekends ago, in Myrtle Beach. And you come in as the two-time defending champion in the 400. Kind of talk to us, Eric, a little bit about what your goals were before the meet started.
I'm not gonna lie, I remember me and my coach, we had a conversation like the day before the meet started, and he was like, he want me to play smart, manage my energy, manage the race, manage everything. Don't try to lose yourself or control or an environment because, it's hard for the first time. It's hard a competitor. And, he was like, just try to control yourself. All right. So when the first prelim in the 200, I was really saying relax. I wasn't trying to use all my energy. I knew I got enough rating mode in the very next rating that the next day. And he was like, all right, so I went to 20.8 something like that. After that, he was like, okay, 400 meter tomorrow. So when I came back, 100 and 400, right before the weight, I did coach, I was nervous. And he was like, why you nervous? I was like, I don't know, it's just 400. And he was like, I would have said, but you got to understand, you know why you here though? I said, you right, though, you right. And I in the block, I came out, I ran my way. And after that, I told myself, don't fall, you can take it. And I took it, and I walked it up. And I walked it up, coach like, look, 20 minutes, that's all you got. I look at it, shoot. I lay down, rest my leg, recovered, got up, and walked into the 100-meter mark, and he was like, all right, now, show me what you got. I was all right. So right before I ran, I was covered, yet, but you know how when you catch the last thing in your 400 in your leg, it was still there, correct. But I was covered fine. So I was fine. It was just, it wasn't enough juice to put at the last 50, but I came out the box correctly. So it's my first time ever running in a high level. And I told coach before the way, I said, coach, when I ever ran against somebody running under 10.5, and he looked at me, I said, nah, give me a shot. And he was like, all right, go ahead. And I was just,
We remember that intense battle indoors against Sam in the 200. You don't see him until this year's prelim. How is that to see him, so early in this competition?
all due respect, I like it because it's like get me prepared before the final. I don't know what Sam be training on. I don't know what he got better on. So like it's been a whole 5 months, 4 months. So like I know he gonna train to try to not let me catch him because he almost got caught. So I like now I know I gotta learn how to get out faster because he get out faster. Like all right, it's gonna be the world awkward way, but remember you came here to do your thing. I was like you right. So it's not about beating him so early, not about trying to to execute your weight correctly. Like, when I seen Sam right before the weight, me and Sam was like, good luck. He was like, you gonna do your thing? I was like, yeah. But not like, trying to kill it. And he was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it looks like you guys have a great relationship, at least on social media. It appears that way. You guys take pictures after the races, especially in indoors, and I saw it again at outdoors. Can you speak to, you mentioned JP a little bit earlier and you didn't know Sam, but now it seems like you and Sam are buddies. What is that like seeing him do so well and then you obviously do so well too?
We got good relationship. I say same at all athletes. Like once you see recognize a real competitor, like dog recognize dog.
Yeah.
So he had the same mindset. How I love, so he had the same mindset. He really sacrificed to get better. So that's something that bring everybody closer.
One of the interesting storylines about this year's championship in Myrtle Beach was the weather delay on Saturday. And, up in the booth when we were commentating, it was they were giving us so much information like, okay, the meet's going to start in an hour. It's going to be a rolling schedule. And they kept changing their minds. As an athlete, and maybe coach, you can talk through this question as well. But how do you handle that period of uncertainty when you have to get ready for your final, but kind of the schedule and the weather is now out of your control? How do you stay ready?
Personally, in that situation, I was him told coach, I mean, it's not gonna change the thing because we used to the type of weather. We ran the rain, we ran the cold, we ran it like ice, like we ran every type of weather. So it wasn't phased about it. Like we wasn't really worried about it. So it was like okay. But what I didn't like is it paused today. Like it paused for everybody to be able to recover. I feel like I want to wait and everybody in the right time and right percent of your body, what you put in, what you put out. With me, if the time was stated the way it is, who knows how the weight came out correctly. So it was fine. It wasn't bothering me at all.
As the two-time defending champion, you had Alexander Rhodes kind of on your shoulder there for maybe the last 60 to 70 meters or so. Did he give you any nerves that like, oh man, someone is on my shoulder?
Don't get me wrong. We all know I always come out too hard, so I don't want to be with shoulder to shoulder to nobody. When I seen him running through the 200, the first thing in my mind, I said, "Oh my God!" He said, "Running," and then I gotta keep moving. Then he went all the way to 300 meters. I was like, "This man still running." So okay, now I gotta fight him. So when I fight him to the point where he didn't give up. He just about to shut down. But I was strong enough to keep going. And I ran through and I finished. And he was like, "Man, I was waiting for you to catch up. I thought I was waiting for you to blow down."
So you're one of only two Division III athletes who have broken 46 more than once, the other being Andrew Rock, who fans of this show will know was an Olympic gold medalist. So, I mean, that's pretty good company for you. What does it feel like to be at that level of, history in Division III?
I feel great, honestly. I mean, I knew that I was gonna be in that category because that was my dream of. So I've been running for years since I was a kid. So that never really changed or take away. So I knew at some point when I do what I do, I'm being in a category, being recognized. That's what I wanted. So yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned, and your coach mentioned that you didn't come into college as a 400-meter runner, and now you're leaving as a three-time national champion, number 2 all time. And as Noah just mentioned, the second D3 athlete to break 46 seconds twice. Have you wrapped your mind around like you came in not being a 400 runner and now you're leaving as one of the best of all time?
I don't know. Me and Cole had a different type of training to the point where like it come with fear, nervous, and pain. But if you can overcome one of those parts, you can overcome the rest of the part. So when I was running the 400, I really hated it. I ain't gonna lie. I really hated it. But like
Who doesn't hate it?
I hate it. But when I run it, I don't hate it. It's a different type of feeling compared when I run 102. And when I hit the finish line, like I feel the pain. Then at the moment, I don't want to do it again. But then when I recover, all right, coach, I want to do it one more way. And he'll look at me, you just say, or like, I don't know, it's just, I get because a competitor, like, I feel like when you compete, sometimes you compete against yourself. But when you compete at your limit, or you know you're going to go through the pain, that is competing at your own body, not competing against somebody else. So I feel like me competing against myself personally is different than competing others. So I like it. I love it.
Eric, I want to kind of back up with this question a little bit. And I want to ask, for a deaf athlete coming out of high school, was Gallaudet always where you were planning on going, or what kind of options did you have as a deaf athlete, as you look towards your athletic and academic career? Did you know this is where you wanted to go, or how did that choice play out for you?
In high school, at that time, I was playing football at track. But it was, I don't know, it was just to the point where I didn't make the decision what I wanted to do after I graduated yet. Until I graduated that day, my sister one of my sisters came to me and asked me what I want to do. And I told her, honestly, I guess I want to stay in the hood. And she was like, no, you need to get out of here and go to school. And I was like, fine, So one of my friends was already here. He had hooked me up with this school. But I did want to go to a different school. It was just close to home. But I realized I can't be close to home. I need to get out of home too. Shoot. So no other college look out for me. No other college accept me. But this school. But I came to this school, my first time ever to leave Louisiana, ever. So DC, my second state ever touched. So when I came here, and I look at this school, I look at the campus, I look at the coach, and I realized I could I could change something. I could change myself, I could change my life, I could change the culture, I could change everything. And that's when I set all my goals, what I can do, what I could, I met coach, coach didn't want me to play football. He, come on, man. That shit, but one thing I love about the coach, he never let me give up. My first year playing football, I didn't get my opportunity I should be getting. The second year, I was not gonna play. Coach like, nah, finish what you started. And I look at him, that's something that remind me of my father one time when I didn't like losing and I was about to quit. And I never want to play it again. My father said, you gonna lose because you quit? No, you gonna get up and train. So for him, it was like, okay, nah, finish what you started. So I had finished 4 years football and 4 years track. So yeah, I copied my goal.
We got a little inside information that at Myrtle Beach, it was the first time going to a beach and seeing the ocean. Take us through like that experience of, seeing the ocean and seeing the beach for the first time.
I mean, I never been to the beach my whole life. And I never wanted to touch the ocean because I'm afraid of water. I didn't know how to swim. That's one of the reasons. But I touched the lake and the river and the pond. That's in Louisiana. We all know that. But the ocean, it's different than what the other is. Shout out, okay. So I coach. I never been to the beach before. And he looked at me like, what? I said, yeah. He said, you live in the South. I said, I don't leave my home. And he was like, I see. But we'll go after the national. I said, for real? He was like, yeah. I said, okay, cool. But when we got there, it felt real because like I don't know what to do. Like, should I go to the water or should I just float the sand or like what? And my coach like, man, just go ahead. I tried. When I got in the water, one of my teammates pushed me in. And after that, I enjoyed the water. I wasn't afraid. It seemed fun.
Was that kind of one of those moments where you realized the like opportunities that track is creating for you? I mean, I know I've had those realizations in my life where I'm like, oh, running has allowed me to have all these cool experiences. And now you're getting to the point in your career where track is the vehicle to, I mean, who knows where you're going to end up? You're going to run probably all over the world in your career. Are you starting to have those realizations that track is the thing?
Yeah, I been new to it. It's just I was waiting, one day at a time, step by step. So I wasn't rushing myself. But after that day in the beach, I realized it's more into like, it's more like than what it is. More, environment what it is. It's more outside of what I don't even know. So like the more I keep doing what I do, the more I see the bigger thing, the what ain't opportunity. Yeah, like you know what? I told Coach recently, I ain't gonna stop and keep going. And he was like, that's what I want you to do. I said, all right, that was set to go for it.
Yeah, right now you're chasing an Olympic trials qualifier. Got to get down to 45.2-ish. Where are you racing next? And then if you can see beyond trials, where do you kind of see yourself going with track? Kind of like a follow-up to Noah's question there.
I just talked to Coach about that yesterday. I just told him, let's say if I'm not saying I don't, I believe I can. It's just right time at the right place. I told him, whatever I don't want a good time yet, but I'm gonna continue training what I'm doing, which means going out of fall, next spring, I still go wait other competition. I still got an opportunity. But once I know for sure at that timeline, I'm gonna be ready. So I need a good 2 or 3 years training straight without stewing the weight, without anything in my way, and I can actually put in when I want to put in.
We talked to Coach about this when we were interviewing him before you joined us, but talk about what kind of, mental strategies you've used this year, because it's just such a long season, indoors, outdoors, training for the Olympic trials, try to hit that qualifier. Like who knows how long your season could kind of end up being. So how have you maintained focus, kept your energy levels up, and kept your body ready for a season that you don't even know how long it'll be?
I would say, it's just me, honestly. It's just me. Like, coach recognizing, all my other coaches recognize, even coach that I grew up with, that I raised with, that I trained with, they recognize, they realize how much strength and energy I have, even if I did so much. So, like I said, last year before that, I failed. Okay, but I still ran at 200. Did I still got up. Did I? So it shows you, even if I back down, even if I look like I back down, I still get up and fight. So that's something that I've been doing. I've been doing for years. The coach was like, look, we're going to divide and manage the energy. We always talk about how I feel when I wait. I always tell him, hey, coach, I didn't run still, and that story immediately. He's like, yeah, why is that? Why, I'll be telling, explaining in here, okay, we'll work on that. We'll try to change it up. We're going to see how we're going to work with it. So that's something that we've been working on.
Yeah, kind of along those lines. I think I kind of mentioned this earlier that you go down, you give it like your all, but you also seem to show up when it matters most. At the national meet, you're running your best. It kind of took you a bit to get your 46 point to qualify at the last chance meet. How do you kind of manage your energy and manage when to turn it on when you need to and make sure you can last through these long seasons?
To be honest, it got to be a good attitude. I need to feel the pressure. If I don't feel the pressure, it don't come out. I got to be back to the corner. Like, somebody got to push me in the corner to the point where it going to explode. So I'm a competitor. That's just something that I love.
You just see last chance meet and realize it's your last chance to run a quick time before the national meet. So that's when you know the pressure's on.
Well, we'll see.
You mentioned earlier that before you got to Gallaudet, you've never left Louisiana. Now that you've been away doing such great things, what's the reaction from your community back home? Like, are they just crazy proud of you? I mean, do you talk to them about it ever?
I keep it simple. They don't want me to come home. They told me straight out there, keep me on what you doing. So yeah, they realize I'm out of the first come out the hood, made it out. So that hard, that's something that people don't realize. But yeah, they realize what I'm capable of. They didn't want me to come on. They just told me keep doing what you're doing, but God got you in the right path. So keep walking that path. Okay.
I mean, they've got to be so proud of you, and you're representing that community doing great things. You're representing the deaf community doing great things. Does it feel like you have like a weight on your shoulders sometimes being this important person and on, different levels?
Uh, I did have weight on my shoulders, but it's not like in that situation. It's weight at shoulder like what you've been through. Weight at shoulder what you've been training for. Weight on your shoulder what you've been wanting for, what you really set your dream for. That's what it was. It wasn't like in that situation. It was just something that what I've been doing for years.
Sam, let us know that this is the first time your family's got to watch you race at nationals this year. What was it like having them in the stands?
Their first time seeing me running since middle school, really. All team. The only person that has seen me racing in high school, I would say my little sister. But the rest, everybody too busy working, job, at around school time, So the last time they seen me racing, I was really good. For them watching me in the natural, it was like they didn't expect their own kind to be at this ability. They were like, you something else, I was like that's just in our blood, They were like, nah, that's just you, like that's who you are.
That's more added pressure then that you rose up to the occasion, got your family watching you, and you got another title.
Yeah.
Well, we talked to JP when you ran the 800. He was like, "Hey, Eric's running the 800. What's up with that?" So, can we talk about? You kind of mentioned that you're using it as like a strength building for this triple, but as distance guys, we always want to ask 400 folk, what could you run in an 800 if you just trained for the 800?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I did told Coach I want to like 155. That was my set, which I didn't hit it about 5 seconds up. It wasn't bad. My first time I did it, it was a lot of pain. Worse than the 400. Worse than the 400. But I had ran my race strategy wrong. I didn't know how to run an 800. So I ran my first leg with the 800 instead of doing my way. It was like, all right, next week, try your way. I said, okay. So I ran my way. The first leg was 56, 54, 56, 55, something like that. And I was leading everybody thinking I about to die out there for 600 meters left. I like, nah, but I was still hold on, which I wanted, and I didn't expect I was going to win it. Then I was like, whoa. I said, Coach, one more time. Coach, like, you serious? Yeah. I was like, come on. So one more time, I ran the third one. It was 2 minutes or two, but that was my DC one. But I gave out what I could give out. But it was a good way. It was fun. It was fun. It's just I realized what I could do, and I realized my energy changed after I ran the 800. Like it different. Like y'all seen it, 100, 200, 400, prelim, and the final. I stood up. I didn't fall on the ground. That's how it take me to get what I need to get from 800. So.
This is a question for both of you. You can maybe take turns answering, but Eric, as you move on from Gallaudet, what do you hope that your legacy on the team will be, and like what impact do you hope you have had on the program? And then Coach, maybe you can tell us from your perspective what impact Eric has had on the program.
Oh, I thought you were asking him. My bad.
Yeah, you first. You first, yeah.
I know. Yeah, repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Sorry. What impact and legacy do you hope that you've had on the Gallaudet track and field program?
Oh, I impact a lot. I impact the coach. I impact the kid that they can start believing themselves. I impact everything. Honestly, I didn't really pay attention to it until I realized. And once I realized, I was happy because once you train, you don't really pay attention to the other thing outside your training. So I didn't really pay attention to it until I paid attention. It was like, okay, I see what I changed. I see people want to come here. I see people want to get better. I see people, coaches changing their way, their strategy, how they want to put their player. I say, all right, that's something that I want our program to get better at. That's something I want to grow because I don't want to be the only one to do this. I know they're going to have somebody in it who knows going to take me down. So I'm ready for it. I want to see it.
Yeah, for sure, it's made an impact on recruiting. A lot of high school students they wanted to have the chance to run on the team with Eric, and now I'll have high school students who want to run in the footsteps of Eric. So that is one of the major impacts that Eric has put on the program, indoor outdoor track.
For you, Coach, you obviously are going to lose Eric at the program, but Oceana Brown is coming up through the ranks, just finished 5th at the 200. What's it like having her now? I think Eric was mentoring all season, but it's kind of like a passing of the torch for the program of sorts.
Yeah, Oceana, she's a really talented athlete for real. Like, she not only is a track star, but she played flag football as well in high school. So I'm very lucky when she decided to focus on track, for sure. Having her, in the years to come, that just means that you're going to see more of me.
True.
Stu, do you have anything else you want to ask?
Yeah, one last thing for you, Eric. You're obviously going to be focused on Olympic trials qualifier. We mentioned Deaf Olympics in 2025. A kind of awesome note that maybe no other D3 athlete has is that you're a world record holder. And how cool is that to say that you have the deaf 200-meter world record?
I mean, it really cool, honestly. 'Cause I didn't really look at that direction. I would look at the Olympic one. Like, I want to wait, those dogs. When I realized, when I set my tone over there, it was like, oh, all right. Now that is interesting. I mean, I come from two different type of world, so I didn't really look at the way I want to look at it. I just look at something bigger than with a bigger, So when I realized that the world record, that kind of felt awkward because world record is not like, oh, record, it's actually world record, which I appreciate it.
Eric, as you kind of, finish your college career and then start the next phase of your career, people are going to keep paying attention to you. What do you want when the fans think of Eric Gregory, what do you want them to think of? How do you want them to know you?
Gee, the true fighter, I'm a true fighter. I'll tell you that. I'm a true fighter.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your time and insight into your career. It's been a blast following you and calling your races. So, best of luck chasing this Olympic trials qualifier, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you, appreciate it.